Hello, everybody. We have friends. We have friends. Friends. I
Lots
know
of
we have
friends.
friends. Um, welcome, Sayab Han. Not with a P, with a BH. As per the name.
Where are you?
Where are you?
That
Who
way.
is she?
That's so hot.
Sayab Han will be
Where's my
joining us
floor?
until she no longer wants to. The Schwabalong Ding Dong Schwabalong Ding Dong lives.
At least this month and next month. She's not getting to not do next month after doing this one.
Okay.
Sorry, you don't have an option.
And if you refuse, I'll still send you the link anyway and be like, just in case.
No, that thing that
we
you
have
read.
we have a somebody over here that what's she called?
Jam.
Jem.
Wow.
And we have Tori. Say hi.
It even says it on the screen.
Shh. I'm pretending I don't know who she is.
She's her. We see her all the time. Jam, you're the easiest for me to point to. Thank you.
She positioned herself there on purpose. But welcome to the live show of the first book that I actually did read. Woohoo! Yesterday was a bit touch and go because I had like
Oh.
300.
I thought you meant like you didn't read the Near Witch, and I was like, yes, you did. You did a whole lot.
Yeah, it was
I
Tori that
physically
didn't read that
read.
one. I have read it now, though. Disclaimer: I have finished it.
At least you've done that. But this was my first physical read in I can't even count how many months. So I think me and Sayab Han need a massive round of applause because we both struggled to physically read and we did this.
Yes, we did.
Round of applause.
Does Schwab books have
Also-
audiobooks as you go like further through them?
Yeah.
Vicious
Out of
does,
curiosity.
Vengeful doesn't.
Vengeful does.
Or it's Vengeful that does and Vicious doesn't. One of them does,
No,
one of them
Vicious
doesn't.
does because I couldn't get into the audiobooks for it. I physically read it.
Vicious was just recently got one.
Ah, okay.
Because it didn't when I first read Vicious.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I think
So,
it's just
yeah.
Near Witch doesn't and
Just
Near
these.
Wish didn't.
True. True.
Uh,
True. So, let's just go to the comments. We have a Chloe. We have a Meep. Sorry, Liam. Hello. We have Maluz. Brit. Hello.
Thank
Get
you,
a cup of
Marlene,
tea.
for making us realise that we fucked up the scheduling as well. That was probably my bad.
Yeah, well, let's blame Jem.
Yeah,
And a yay
blame
for
me.
Sayabhan. Yay. Oh, we have
sorry,
a
my
zebra.
screen is being weird, so when I have it on its side, it's not showing me all of the screen.
That's okay.
It's
So
fine.
I'll
We can
put it the
still
other
see your
way.
pretty face. It's
You're,
okay.
you're still here. We can see you and hear you. That's all that matters.
Hello. Thank you, Malus. I'm proud of me too. The only time in my life I've ever been proud of myself.
We're proud of you all the time.
Like that.
I'm joking. I don't want to strip in a book. I'm going to put it down now.
I was doing
like,
that.
I like this a lot more than the New Witch. We're going to get onto that in a second. I didn't read the book this time around, but I have read it before. No idea how you're reading them as two. I had to read them back to back.
Yeah.
I'm regretting that life decision, but also not because I would have been able to do the live show tonight had I not have split them, not have agreed to split them into two. I would not have read 500 pages in that amount of time because I literally finished this.
It's like 670 something for both
Yeah.
of them. So
Yeah.
We already had to reschedule it once because me and Lisa were just like, "Did you read it? No, fuck you." Absolute shit.
I have a Zoom call with my therapist at 2:15, so I'll be here till then.
Fair.
Cool. Stay for the ride. So, questione, guys. What did Daz rate it? Jem.
I just ran it through Corpile. 4.5. A solid
out.
4.5.
Get out. Side
I
hand,
think-
what did you?
I think that's fine. Don't worry, because soon we're going to be onto a whole stretch of 5 stars where I just won't shut.
True.
Sayabhan, what did you rate it?
5.
Yes!
I gave it a 5 from that
Yeah.
reaction.
I love it.
Yeah. Tori, 5?
I have
Brilliant.
written down my. So I actually haven't written it down anywhere, but A 5 for me.
Yay.
I just went to see if I'd actually written it anywhere because I was thinking, did I actually update any spreadsheets between now and I haven't. Not a single one has been updated. So
Oh no.
5 star. It's fine. I haven't read much this month, so
A brew. Hello. 3.5. 4.5. Ended up giving it a 4 and loved it. Well, at least you loved it, but wrong number.
Mm.
Should have been 5.
Yeah.
I thought this was 7:30. Blame Jem.
and me because I thought it was. I've just had messages saying I thought you were 7:30.
I
I'm like,
looked at
I
the
thought
old
it was, and then I
thumbnail.
looked at the thumbnail.
The old thumbnail said 7:30, and the new one said 7. So I was like, okay. Well.
I thought it was 7:30, and then looked at the thumbnail when you'd asked for the link, and I was like, oh shit, 7, and I forgot to message Pia to tell her this time. Oops.
Who put me in charge of thumbnails? You fool!
Four, but I'm going to finish the second one. Four, but I'm going to finish the second one and rate them together as one book. 3 stars
But
for
then you
me.
threw yourself out of a book that you've read this year.
I know. I rated it as a 5 for both. Yes. I haven't put it into a core power, but maybe 3.54. Pia isn't here because Tori lied to her. Oh, there you are, Pia. I took off 1 star because I didn't think it needed the romance. So, let's... I nearly scrolled back up to the top. I didn't need to scroll back up to the top. So, to the beginning of the book, and let's talk about characters first. How did you feel about the characters that we were introduced to? I've already forgotten her name. It's Mackenzie.
Yeah, Mac.
Mackenzie.
Mac.
So the main characters really are like Mackenzie, Owen, and Wes. although Roland is a cool character
Oh,
too.
yeah, Roman. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So what
yeah.
do you feel about the characters?
I really like Mac. I think she's quite a complex character because you can tell that she's spent so long because what is she now? 17?
Yeah.
So for like 5 years, which is quite a formative period of your life as well, like from the age of like 12, she's been having to like live this double life. And you can really see like how that's impacting on her relationships, and then obviously having lost her brother as well. So I quite like the fact that she was very like she was a very complex character. There was nothing one dimensional about her.
Yeah.
She had all these different layers to her, which I really enjoyed.
I like the fact that unlike in the Near Witch, where we said that she didn't understand like her mum's pain and stuff, Mackenzie did. Like you could see that she hated how her mum was being, but she knew why that was how her mum was coping.
Yeah.
And like everybody copes in different ways, and I like the fact that she could recognize that she coped in a certain way by going and hunting and like ignoring life almost. Like she was just like, I just need to shut off. And she recognized that her parents needed to do that as well, even if she didn't agree with how they were doing it, which I think is it's such a thing to know once you're a bit older. Like if you'd told me at like 12, 13 that adults actually had to deal with emotions, I'd have been like, yeah, right, whatever. They're adults, they're grown up, they're all dealt with, and like they know what's going on. And you realize as you get older, adults don't have their shit together.
No.
Or at least I don't, and I'm 32. Like, you know what I mean? But like, I like the fact that this time round, as much as they were all like trying to cope, they were trying to cope in a way that made them heal, but also didn't try to negatively impact on anyone else either.
I do think her mum was at a bit of denial. Like, obviously, well, I say a bit, but and I know that it'd only been a year, and obviously she's lost her child, which is a massive thing, and you can't, like I said, like people grieve in their own time. But I really didn't 100% agree with the dad just pandering to her every whim. I mean, I can understand them wanting to move away from the situation from where he died. I get it, I do, but the fact that it doesn't seem like this was the first time she had a whim where she went and did something extreme. I can understand, sort of allowing that, but maybe having that, like, there should have been a conversation around, like, maybe you should I know she mentioned she had a therapist, and I do want to say though, I hate it when they do that in books. Like, she was preaching to her daughter. Well, Caroline said that, this is, I don't like that when they do that in books. I really don't, because like, yeah, the therapist helping you, but don't project onto your child.
Yeah,
I did that whole conversation she had where Mac was just like, Mum, stop, like please.
yeah. She
And she
kind of
was
used
just,
her therapist as a reason to say, no, this is correct. The way that I'm doing it is the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Therapist. So yeah.
yeah, I didn't like that because although she was very accepting of her mum, and her mum didn't seem to be that accepting of the way that she was acting and grieving, and the fact that she thought, right, okay, I'll throw Ben's stuff away,
Yeah.
and like Mac has no say in it, and
Yeah.
that whole thing,
That wasn't fair.
No,
that
in
made
any way.
me big sad. That gave me big sad.
Yes.
Oh, I was tearing up and everything. I was like, see when he was trying to get memories from the teddy bear.
Oh
Oh.
God.
Don't even. I was so glad we were not reading that on sprints. Like you guys would have seen me bawling. Like
That made me sad. That bit made me angry. Like made me really angry because I was like, I can't believe that as a mother you would do that. Like you would
Yeah.
just get rid of all of his stuff first of all, but to do it without telling your other child and then just giving her a meaningless box of crap.
but
was
also
so
not keeping anything for herself. Like she
Yeah.
gave the whole box to Mac. Like it didn't make any sense.
There's just no way. I don't. It made me really angry that bit. I kind of lost a little bit of like respect with her mum at that
Yeah.
point. And I think I did kind of like, as the book went on, I kind of became more accepting and have her probably a little bit like Mac does, where she kind of becomes more accepting of what her mum's going through and realizing that she's doing it a different way. But I never really kind of fully sided with her mum because I was just like, I can't believe that you would do that.
Because it's grieving for your child, and obviously everyone, like I said, everyone grieves in their own way. But then there's a point where you're like, I have another child that I have to raise, and there's going to be a point where I have to be there for them as well, and like, you know, be a mother and not just be a grieving parent to my dead child.
It's like Mackenzie's feelings and what she wanted of her brother's stuff wasn't taken to like in account.
Yeah. And they had kind of like checked out of her parenting.
Yeah.
Totally, because she was able to go off and do all of this in a brand new place with a guy that she's met a couple of days ago, and they were just like, okay.
They were like egging it on, but they're like, oh, like, yeah. And all she said was like, near the end, like, leave the door open.
Yeah. But if I just moved to a new place, my 17-year-old daughter, or whoever old she was like, I'm going to go running in this strange place that we've just moved to, and we've literally arrived at the hotel and they've not gone out and explored the area, and she's just going to go running. I'd be like, I'll come with you the first time. Let's scope out the area before you start running off on your own. And they're just like, okay.
It's like, okay.
Part of me wondered if because she was with her granda for so much of her time, her parents didn't see her as needing their attention as much. Like, if we're saying that she was with the granda from when she was like 5, and then she was training with him until 12 when he died, and then from 12 to like 16ish at the old place, she was constantly going off and patrolling and like being that person where she wasn't there. When she was then 17 and in this new place, even though it's new, how much were her parents actually willing to have her around? Or not willing, that's the wrong word, but like used to? Like how much was she there? And like were they just always like, oh, Ben's the younger one, like did he get mollycoddled and she didn't? Like you don't know because it wasn't there. But
if you've lost one child,
you would have thought they would have held on tighter.
You would think that some kind of protective streak would kick in.
Yeah.
It was a bit weird actually, and because her dad had totally checked out. Totally.
Yeah.
Oh, the dad completely had checked out. Absolutely.
Yeah, and he was just going along like when she left and they were painting, and then she came back and her mum had suddenly decided to change colour. I'm just thinking like even just stuff like that, and her dad was just like, "All right, yeah, she's decided that she wants a different colour now," and then mum's off in her own little world, like, "Oh yeah, whatever," and I'm like, would you really do that? Like, I couldn't sit back and just let someone that is spiraling, and clearly this therapy isn't helping the way that they would think it is, because she's still off the moved area and she's now in this frigging hotel, and she's decided that she's opening a coffee shop. And like, I
also find it so weird that like is what would have been recommended to her, would be to leave the comfort of like the security net, the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough, a new start. Maybe she could have moved. They could have moved house, but in the same area. But they've just
Yeah.
upped and left everybody they know, and I just didn't really understand that, because they obviously had a
Yeah.
very close relationship with Lindsay and her parents next door. Who
Yeah.
saw
Yeah.
his brother. You would think that they would be leaning on that kind of relationship,
Yeah.
and to just like taking her away from that. So she's lost the granddad that she obviously idolized
Yeah.
and spent so much time with. She's lost her baby brother who she loved, and now you take her away from her best friend as well. Like, as a
Yeah.
parent, looking back, that's really harsh. Like, that's so like the parents are so centered on, like you say, the mum's grief.
Yeah.
It's not really about the dad's grief. Everything that is revolving around the mum's grief. He's just kind of not dealing with anything at all.
No.
And it just felt wild to me that they would just kind of leave that security network. Like, you can have a fresh start in the same town, just you could get a new house if the memories were too much. But it was just a bit like, no, we're just going to leave everything that we know.
The fact that she mentioned that they'll never move too far away, there'd always be like close, like within like sort of a really short distance of like where they are now, where they were in this book. They were only an hour away, so it's far enough away to get away from the home where the area where he died, but not too far. That the sort of I don't know, it was just strange. But
it's weird though, because an hour to me is nothing. Like, Siobhan, you're probably the same. Like, us to the city is less than an hour. Like, is about an hour.
It's about 45-minute drive to Aberdeen for me.
So when I was a kid, it was over an hour from Davit to Aberdeen because there was none of the bypasses. So like an hour to me is like, oh yeah, that's fine. Like, that's nothing.
It's not that far.
That's nothing. Like, I do that to go see my dad. Like, it's about
That's
50
true.
minutes to him. So to me, like an hour is like a normal family journey.
Yeah.
But like,
for me, that'd be a while, because to get from anywhere in like.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's driving, not buses, which will be slightly longer than that. But like, it's bizarre because like to me, I was like, oh yeah, that's fine. Like, I didn't even think
it was
about
like
the hour.
for me.
Yeah, that didn't even cross my mind, because I was like, oh yeah, that's fine. That's like
I suppose
normal.
the reason why it's kind of seems so bad in this situation is because she's gone from being able to like walk next door,
live next door, yeah,
person, to now having it be like, well, we can only really do it on the phone because Lindsay's so busy. She does all these extracurriculars.
Yeah.
Easy to go and do a 2-hour round trip with whatever's, however long they stay there. So it's harder to schedule. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why she wrote her as friend as being so busy, was to make it so that even though an hour doesn't seem that far, when you're actually
scheduling wise,
it's still tough to. Yeah.
So, what you're doing today, or what you're doing today, and the way that her mum commented on how little Mac was doing, I was just like, I would not like to have been around that mum. She sounds like a fucking dance mum.
Yeah. Also, the fact that Mac and that probably don't drive. Like, I know they're 17, but they'll just be at that cusp of being able to drive. So it's not like me being able to get in the car. They can't do it as easily without, parents having the right schedule, or buses, or like a transport of some equivalent. So yeah, I guess at that point, because one of my friends did move away like up to the coast at that age, and it was really hard to see them, even though again in the car it's only an hour. Actually managing to see them was hell. So yeah, okay. As a teen, I get it.
Kids good, adults twats. I mean, I personally wouldn't say adults twats. I'd say insensitive.
Just didn't think about Mac as much as they probably should have.
Very wrapped up in their own grief.
Nick as an adult, and he was one of my faves. He was great.
He reminds me of the old people in like the Thursday Murder
Club. Whatever that one is.
Yeah, like the Richard Osman book. Like the people in there, like the old people. Like he was so funny. Like
he was great. He was
just
so
oatmeal and raisin cookies though.
Go
to the cookies.
I love oatmeal raisin cookies. Totally there. I would totally classify this as a book with like older protagonists. Like, if you have a prompt with these books, with the amount of people that would classify, I think it would work. Like, because technically, if it's only older than me, really, there's only a few of them that are younger. Like, but Nick's is great. Like,
He
Yeah.
was so good.
I
It was good.
I love him because he was almost like that archetype of like the wise old man.
Yeah.
He was grumpy as
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you about it, but I'm going to be snarky about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just
Definitely.
It was
I can
brilliant.
tell you everything that you want to know. for the price
Maybe.
of things. And I'm going to bitch about it the entire
Oh.
time.
Have you noticed they've still done that thing where like it's the kids that save the day, and the parents are like they do this in like. Although this did read like an older-ish YA in some
Yeah, it
aspects of it, like her relationship with Owen seemed a bit more adult than YA.
Yeah.
Like we'll get onto that in a minute. I hated that.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so that whole thing was read a bit more adult than YA, but like it was very much sort of like the kids went out and saved the day again, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And the adults were like either absent or turned out to be the crazy fuckers.
Well,
Like,
Horrible,
you know what I mean? Yeah. Part of me wonders if Mac is autistic. The way she reacts to being touched, feeling overstimulated, really common for us.
did relate to this because I don't like being touched, so like I
Yeah.
definitely understood what she was feeling.
Yeah. I think although like obviously it reads as if she is autistic, it doesn't sort of explain that the reason she does that is
Yeah.
because she has that
I
gift,
don't
but
think
it does sort of remind you a little bit of that.
as like an autistic person, I don't think she is, but I definitely related to it.
Yeah.
I can say.
Like the overstimulate.
Oh God, being overstimulated is horrendous.
No, I can imagine.
It was quite nice to see Wes like trying to help her with that as well.
Yeah. Like he was just an absolute.
Can we
Like
talk
I
about
think.
him?
Yeah, we can talk about Wes now.
I love Wes.
I was really dubious about him at first because we were introduced to
Same.
him, and then we were introduced to Owen, and I was thinking one of these fuckers is gonna be the bad guy,
Yeah.
and I was really thinking it was gonna be Wes.
No.
I was hoping it wouldn't.
Wesley.
No.
I was.
I
hoping
loved
it
him.
wasn't.
At one point, I just remember messaging Andy being like, "Someone's in her territory. Don't know if it's good or bad, but somebody's there. Something's happening. Like her names can't just be disappearing. This is really awkward. Like something's going on."
Yeah.
And then like 4 pages
Yeah.
later, Wesley, and I was like,
Is
"Why
he
are you
good or
just
is he
leaning
bad?
against a wall? Like this
Yeah.
is really suspicious. Like I don't trust you." And then she like
That's
went past him, and he
suspicious.
just like stood there, and I was like,
That's weird.
there's something I don't trust you. And then literally I saw him like and I was like, love him.
I just
He's
want to
so
say,
good.
like, I was right and you were wrong, but I loved him from the moment he was mentioned.
No, I was suspicious.
This is my guy. Me and him would be pals. I'm loving him. I loved everything about him. I loved the way he was. He was kind of like a golden retriever crossed with like a German shepherd. He tried to look like he would kill you, and he was pretty handy in a fight. But then he was just like really happy to meet another keeper.
Yeah.
And to just like
That
have
whole
some
thing as well.
Like his tail wagging
Yeah.
outside in the garden. Like
That whole thing as well, where he was just like, but I'll get through these comments and I'll mention it in a second. But I do love Mac's progress through the book as well.
I do too. Yes.
I didn't really feel connected to the story or the characters.
Oh,
Oh no,
That's a shame.
That's a shame.
I don't know.
We're
Sometimes
only at the
leaving everyone
start.
you know is what helps with grief, not speaking from experience or anything. Yeah, I mean, everyone, like I said, everyone grieves differently. I just think that when you're a parent,
You do
there's
still
not
have
just
to
your
consider the other
exactly.
kid.
It came across that kind of loss of Lindsay was maybe like one thing too much.
Yeah,
And she now totally isolated. I think that was the main problem with it.
yeah,
especially when the only people she was still with were a mum who had like put all of her attention to this bit and her dad who had checked out. Like
yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah. The friend's mum was. Andy, I love you so much. It
Welcome
did
to
read
the
like
shop.
old. It did read like older YA, but it is older YA.
Yeah.
Just pop in and say hi, but I've not read the book yet. Emma,
I hope you're gone.
haven't read the book yet. It has too much triggers, but maybe someday in the future. Okay, bye. I hope you didn't wait here for that conversation then. She was coded neurodivergent. Oh, really?
Oh, was she? Well, I mean, I guess it makes sense then if I connected with her that way.
I didn't know that.
I didn't.
That could be a good character to explain it to neurodivergent.
That's a good point. I've already used her as, like an analogy or whatever to explain how I feel about when people touch me.
Yeah.
That's really
So, like,
cool.
maybe
I mean, that is
that's-
really good. Like, I didn't know this was a thing, but, like, yeah,
no,
that
neither
actually...
did I. I knew about some of her
Well
other
done,
books,
Victoria.
but
Oh, I
Well
don't know if
done.
it was on purpose. But still, it's still a good thing to
it
use.
is. That's really good because then it makes me feel a bit more seen.
Yeah,
100%.
Which is always a good thing.
100%.
Yes, it's always a good thing. Oh, look at Schwab at it again.
I know.
And way back when too, not just recently.
Way
But
back
yeah.
many centuries ago.
But it definitely, like, I mean, that didn't twig with me until you mentioned it, but now that you mention it, I'm thinking, well, yeah, it kind of does make sense.
It makes
great.
sense.
Yeah, but going back to Wes, I loved how he introduced himself as a keeper.
Yeah.
When she was like, "Where's this guy from? Where's this guy from?" And then he was like, "A history." And then
Sorry.
she couldn't. I was just like, in my head, I do this a lot, and I've mentioned this before. Like in my head, when I'm really enjoying a book, and I know I'm really enjoying a book, because I can, like, in my head, the scenes play out like a movie
Yes,
scene or a.
it is, yes.
So like in this, I had him stood in front of her, and she was just like, and you know, like that background music that's sort of like the tensions building sort of thing, and then she was like this and this, and then when he said history, like I could like that climactic music was in my head. That's what happened. Like, and then the face was like the
Love it.
close up of her face and the shock on her face. And that's how it goes on in my head.
I don't get that. I don't
Oh,
see things when I
no.
read.
Oh my god,
Oh,
I
Oh, it's brilliant. I
No.
love it. It's
And
like a
it-
little mini movie.
yeah.
Like if it's things I've seen on TV, like so say I've read a book and then it's been into a TV and I reread it, then
Yeah.
I sometimes it'll
Oh.
happen, but it's with the movie versions. Like when I reread Hunger Games, it was like the actors from the TV show.
Oh.
But in general, I could not tell you without looking. Like Richie's different because obviously I see him all the time. But like I could not actually describe shit to like if I got pulled over by a police officer, it would be the worst descriptions.
Oh my god. But everything plays out in my head like.
Yeah, same.
It's like, you know what? I'm going to mention him because I don't go video or live without mentioning Ryan Cahill, but he's recently released special edition covers, and the way that the images that he's released, like of Kaelin and Valeris and all those characters, like that's how I saw them in my head. Like,
Totally thought you were going to go Travis Baldry. To be fair,
no, but
No, it's always Ryan.
they were already on the covers, weren't they? They were
Listen,
already on
she's
the covers.
mentioned so much now that I'm actually on first term basis with him. I didn't
Ah,
even say
Travis.
it's Ryan.
Oh, Ryan. Ah, Ryan.
Well, everyone knows who I'm talking about. Lisa's Ryan.
Being Conan doesn't mean kind of sometimes can be done very badly for representation of the people affected, though. True.
Yeah.
Same story. I don't see images when I read. I have faint mental images. I can picture things, but it's not like IMAX quality. Like in my see, this is why I love audiobooks as well, because then like it adds that extra dimension to it. So then I can hear the voices and then
Yes.
see the images and then read the
It's
words.
even more
I'm
vivid
like,
with the audio.
movie.
It is. It's brilliant.
you're going to love HMRC's audio when you get there. Just an FYI, that book is audio is just. We're not even on that book, but sidetrack.
So, I didn't actually make notes of what we were supposed to talk about, so we're just gonna wing it. Owen,
I called
Creep.
it.
in the bit.
I didn't.
I
didn't.
called it. I knew. I knew. Maybe it's because I read way too many thrillers, but I knew straight away.
I
that you-
didn't call it
No.
at
I
all.
didn't know that he was going to be a keeper. I didn't know that he was going to be her brother, but I knew that he was going to be the bad guy
Something.
because I was like, there is no way, right? There's no way that she keeps seeing this shadow when the bad shit happens, like when the knife appeared, she saw something out of the corner of her eye.
Hmm.
There's no way that that's going to happen. This random history is going to show up that's not on her list, and he's going to be all like, "Ooh."
See, I didn't know it was a history at first, and I thought it might have been a keeper
I
until she
didn't
touched him,
either.
and she couldn't feel anything. And then I was like, well, she was like, why isn't he slipping? I then thought the people in the archive were lying to her, and the people weren't really slipping, that they'd done something to them. And I thought Patrick was the bad guy because he has so much disdain for Mark. And I was
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
so
I thought it was-
convinced that Patrick
didn't
was going to
ever
be the
think
one
it
that
was
was
Patrick,
releasing.
because
No,
I
I thought it was Roland.
thought it was
No.
Roland too.
No.
And then,
No,
massively.
which way am I going? I don't know which way I'm
So
going. I'm trying to point at Lisa.
Oh, I'm with
I
you.
was. Oh my god, camera. There we go. I'm like brain fucked. No, I thought it was the same as Lisa. I didn't
Yeah.
think it was
No,
Roland.
I thought it was Roland. I was hoping it wasn't, but
Yeah, I kept thinking, like, please don't let it be Roland. And he
Please
kept doing
don't.
something suspicious as fuck. And I was like, Roland, stop it.
Just behave.
I
Roland,
am.
please.
The bad guy, I'm going to flip my shit. But it
Yeah,
was.
I was really suspicious of the fact that he didn't slip. Like that was really like there was
Yeah.
something not right there.
was
Yeah.
And I thought it was
unnerving.
linked into Patrick, not to Roland, but I couldn't figure
Yeah.
out how. And then I remember when she found the first part of the story, and I couldn't figure out what the hell this thing was. And then when she got the second one and it was a barrel, I was like, "Holy shit, they make a key! What the
Yeah.
fuck does it like?" And
Oh,
I
I
knew
did
that
that.
ahead of. I
I
figured
did
that
catch
part out
that.
ahead of the 3.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what the key was or what it was for or if it was like a keeper
No, I
key
was-
or like I didn't know what it was, and I was like, she's left him a key. Then I was like convinced the sister knew him, but I didn't know what the hell was.
Right, okay.
I had no idea. I figured out the key. I was proud of that.
I
I don't.
But I did figure out it was linked to the knife. And so it was like, I was like, you need to stop finding all these pieces.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, even the notes, metal, like, this is weird.
Yeah, because it kept
Weird.
referencing the metal. At first, I thought
Yeah.
it might have been something to do with the story that was going to lead to like this big revelation. I thought that she might have been a keeper, Regina, and that he knew, which is why when he died, he stuck around and he knew everything. So, but I still didn't think he was a bad guy. I just thought that he was sticking around because,
I knew
I
there was
don't
something
really know
wrong with
why.
him.
But I didn't piece together that they were making a key. That's totally on my mind. But I knew, I kind of had a feeling that like there was something going on because they were all like, it was all metal. There were notes came with a piece of metal. It's just like, that's weird. I don't understand why that would be a thing. But yeah, I didn't put together that it was a key at all.
No.
I
But,
was impressed I did, because I am really bad with thriller mystery type equivalents. And like I text Andy because Andy'd already finished it when I was reading it, and I was like, "Oh my god, she's left him a key!" And like it was the only thing in the whole book that I got right. The only thing. Like
I had a
Yeah.
feeling when he kept appearing. See, I thought he was there to save her because at that point, as much as I did not want this to be a thing, I thought he was going to be there, sticking around to save her from Wesley, who was going to turn out to be the bad guy and the one that was going to stab her in the back.
Everything so badly of my boy.
I tried not to, but
I
I
was
was just,
suspicious of Wes, to be fair.
but it was just
Oh,
so.
why
It was
did
so
you-
endearing, and it was like he was being so nice and supportive, and they immediately connected. And I know that her and Owen connected in a different way, but they were just immediately like really close and stuff. And I was like, oh, so he's trying to lure her into a false sense of security, and then they're going to pair up. And then I was like, Owen's going to be the one that saves the day because he saved her from the big fucking keeper killer, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
convenient, isn't it?
yeah.
Now obviously I know it was, but back then.
It was when he
Yesterday.
reappeared though. Like when the same
tabbed-
keeper killer came back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson.
Yeah.
I tabbed, right? And orange tabs are Chrissy, wake up, I don't like this. So it's- okay. And this section, oh, you can't really see it, but this section here has like 4 orange tabs. And all of those, without fail, are her and Owen making out. I was like, no.
But it was fade to black, so they did more than make out, didn't they? Or am I just reading that wrong?
Yeah. I don't like it. I don't want
No.
it.
Oh, I don't think I read that into it. I just went, no, I don't like this. So all you're doing is making out, and then moved on. My brain
I
was like,
think- I
no,
think-
no.
Where
I
he
think- I
moaned
don't think-
pen against her neck, and I was like, "Get out, get in the bed, get away from her, stop touching her." Because at that point, we knew that he was dead, and he was from the 50s. Like, sir, get away from the teenager. You pedo.
True.
You know, it was like too much. I was like, "Excuse me, no, step away from the young lady." And it really weirded me out. And I actually think that's probably where it lost like half a star, because it knocked the logic down on Core Pile, because I
Fair.
didn't understand how she wouldn't have made the connection that it was obviously why she would do that. Right. I understand that, it was nice for her to have the silence and she was trying to figure out Regina. It didn't make sense to me after everything that she'd been through, after all the training that she'd done, after everything she'd done previously in the book, that she would start having that with a history in the Narrows whilst hiding it from all the people.
Fair.
It just didn't
I
make any sense.
also,
I think that's why it lost some bits for me.
I think also, because hold on, have I got this right around? When she got to Ben, and obviously the shit hit the fan with actual Ben and opening
Yeah.
the key and all that bit.
Oh god.
I actually was like, I was torn between wanting to throw the book across the room
Yeah.
and crying and
Yeah.
screaming and throwing up. You know that like emotion where you don't really know what you are, but like you need to keep turning the page, and like if anybody
Yeah.
tries to interrupt your reading at that point, you're gonna scream.
Yeah.
That's where I was, and I can't believe at that point I didn't realize the female whose name I've forgotten
Carmen.
was actually involved.
I didn't.
Oh, I called it straight away.
I caught that.
I
I
didn't-
caught that.
I
As
need to
soon as
read more
I
thrillers,
opened
don't
that
I?
door, I was like, her.
I'm with you, Lisa. I had no
I
idea.
still thought it was
Like,
Patrick. I still thought it was Patrick up until the point that Cameron was like, "Where's Owen?" I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, it's Patrick. Patrick.
yeah,
Patrick's a
literally.
accomplice."
That's literally the second that she took out her key and opened that drawer, I was like, "You bitch." Is she?
Yeah, she gave it up too easy. I was like,
I
even
thought she just
Roland
felt
didn't
sorry
give
for
it
her.
that easy. So
I thought it was just like she felt sorry for her. She knew
Yeah.
that she was hurting. She knew that she needed to see her brother, and she was just
No.
like, "Here, let's break the rules because you need to feel this."
I
And
thought
then,
something in her past had made her like lose a family member as well, and she understood and
yeah,
was like, one
I
time,
read into that
don't
way.
touch her. Like, I think that's what they've
Yes.
manipulated her and the writing, or like the reader, to feel though. Like, I think that's, because Owen was obviously playing her to make like this all seem like plausibility, and then she gave in a bit too simple, and like it was very, very manipulative between like
Yeah.
the two of them and her, which is it's meant to be. But I totally didn't see it. Like I felt by the time I got to the end of this, I was like, how did I not see any of that? Like how was the key the only thing I fucking figured out?
See, I think
Like,
I think Patrick was meant to be the red herring, though. You were clearly meant to hate him and suspect him. I need
Yeah.
to read more
see,
thrillers
that's
'cause
what I thought. It's like
Yeah.
it's a little too
Well,
obvious.
just like some rules.
What was
just
that?
He just liked the rule. That's all. He just wanted everyone to abide by the rules. Nothing wrong with that.
I kept jumping
True.
between who could be the bad guy because there were so many options that made
Oh.
sense. This is
Oh.
what I mean.
I was reading with Andy one night, and she was like, she stopped and she just looked at me and went, "But who is it?" And I hadn't read it at this point, so she couldn't actually tell me anything. And she was like, "But it could be," and then just like picked it back up and started reading, and I was like, "Okay."
See, I thought it was Patrick, but definitely Roland. I never suspected Roland.
I did.
I thought that
No.
Roland was just like, because obviously he was the one that presided over the. There was like when she came to him at 12, and a dad was like, "I'll vouch for her," kind of thing, and they were like, "Well, let's give her a shot." It was him that was the one that sort of stepped forward and sort of agreed it. So
Yeah.
obviously I thought that he was
I
then
remember that could have been part of the
watch-
plan.
Yeah, true. But I was like, well,
why
he's
would you
watching
have
over
waited
like his
7
second
years
granddad.
though, or like 5 years from then till?
Yeah.
The main reason why I suspected him was because of how like pally he was with her, whilst everybody else was like very professional.
And he kept
I
giving her
understand that.
information.
He kept like bending the rules for her
Yeah,
and like
exactly.
telling her things, and I was like, "Oh, you keep like dropping these little bits of information
Yeah,
about how
exactly.
Like, this is going to lead
I
up
shouldn't, but here you go.
I'm the bad guy." I was like waiting for like, a mustache twirling moment. And then And then Carmen opened the drawer and I was like, Roland, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned.
Like, clearly this bitch. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
See, to me, that was like him looking out for her because she lost a granddad who she was really close to. So that to me was like him sort of not trying to take his place, but sort of being that nurturing thing
Fair.
for her because her granddad sort of like dumped it on her at 12, and because she started younger than everyone else would have, like a normal keeper would have done, that he was there to give her that extra guidance and maybe allowed her the more mistakes because she started so young and because she was, so that to me was like always being like a paternal, like granddad type
Yeah.
figure, not
Can I just say, right, I love the fact that two of us were like, this guy is so harsh and he's so on her case and he's a real stickler for rules. He's got to be the bad guy. And then two of us were like, this guy is so nice. He keeps bending the rules for her. He has to be the bad guy.
you could tell who reads thrillers and who don't. Who's used to it and who's not. Like,
It's
High,
so
high
true.
five, Lisa. That way. Oh, I got it first time.
wrong way. I got it wrong way. I didn't piece together they were making a key. Nope. I didn't get it. Nope. It annoyed me that she didn't get that the painting was a hiding place until later. You're looking for stuff. It rattled. Hello, red flag.
Fair.
Yeah, some of the hiding places were a bit like, I was like, oh, you're telling me that this painting has not been touched for 50 years. Like,
Yeah, it's a bit
nobody's moved
obvious.
it.
Clean
or-
behind.
Like, I
Up
know
on the
this
roof. I mean,
but
nobody
we're
managed to do anything on the roof.
No.
Cafe's falling apart.
was-
Literally not occupied. Needs to be renovated. Tiles are still there and perfect.
The one thing that I was surprised about is when her and Owen were together, I kept expecting Wesley to walk in on him, and when she was in the apartment reading the floor of Mrs. What's her face's
I was waiting for
apartment.
her to walk in.
Yeah, I was waiting for her
Yeah.
to walk in and like, but then it
There's
was the
no-
it was the cats.
Yeah, it was
There has to
fucking.
be more to her. She knows stuff.
Yeah,
She knows
definitely.
something. I think
Yeah,
she
absolutely.
if she doesn't play a part in the next book, I'll be surprised.
Yeah.
Because
Also, I mean,
he was
the-
everything's so close and she was so unwilling to talk about anything. I'm like,
Yeah, someone's
Wow.
up there.
you know.
Maybe she was
Part-
crew.
I want to say she's crew because that's why she has so many antiques to drown out and mix up and muddle what she can read. Because when Mac went in to read, she had to like move stuff so she could read the floor.
Oh.
And that's when she lost her ring and she had to send Wes back in to get her ring.
Like the gentleman he is. Thank you.
I
Yeah.
know.
Like I'm just
Yeah.
wondering if there's something there.
Yeah.
As a person who's terrified of cats, he braved a room with 3 killer cats who had already done serious damage. Man is a gentleman and a hero.
I mean, I's got a CP void.
I am
Oh.
afraid.
It's got paws here. Like he's not attacking you. He's too dead.
I hated everything
I
about Mac
like
and Owen
him from a
together. Yeah.
distance. I just don't want them on me.
It's fine. He wouldn't sit on you even if you were in the same room.
Good.
Bye, Liam. Have a good time in therapy. That sounds wrong, but okay. Hello, bye bye. Then again, I also didn't think her and Wesley needed the romance between them. The whole story would have been better without those moments. So for me, I don't. The whole Wesley and Mac thing. I know it didn't need to be a thing, but
Yeah.
I was kind of okay with it. But I did not like the fact that he kissed her to read her.
Yeah.
That bothered me. Yes.
I was
Yeah.
like,
A
you
bit
were
there.
winning. You were winning.
Yeah.
And dick move.
Yeah.
You were
Dick
doing
move.
everything right. You were
He
like,
had it up until then.
Yeah.
Like, I have no defense. I can't defend it. All I can say is
You
I
can
feel
defend
like you need to work on that. Fair.
Work on yourself. It's
Yeah.
growth.
Unacceptable.
Fair.
I expect to see growth in the next book. If they're not true in the next book, I will eat my slipper. 'Cause I don't-
Jem, have you read these already?
No.
So this isn't a reread for you. This is a first
This is
read.
not a reread. This is all new.
Oh.
I thought
all-
you'd reread the I thought you'd read the first one and hadn't read the second.
No, I've read none of it.
Oh,
This is like
amazing.
I think it's the last one that I haven't read unless we do Everyday Angel until she brings out something new. So this was very exciting for me.
Ah, I
The
knew there
Ben
was
thing-
one that you hadn't read at all. I just couldn't remember which one it was.
Yeah.
I'm
The Ben
excited.
thing was so cruel. It was so
Yes.
cruel.
It
That
was.
whole
That was
thing.
where the blue tabs came out in force, and the blue tabs
Yeah.
are
Oh,
emotional
God.
damage. And they came,
Emotional damage.
from that point on, there was quite a lot of
Honestly,
Mental
like
health.
mental health in it.
the Ben thing. It wasn't even when he like reacted to her. It wasn't when Roland put her back to sleep. It was the moment that he wrote in his notepad and she watched the label turn red, and then it
That
disappeared.
was
his girl found.
heartbreaking.
That was it. I was like, no.
Can
Oh my
I
God.
also say though, I wonder if in the next book, and I'll say it now, I wonder if Roland did it to help her, because the special ones they weren't being blacked out,
Yeah.
because like all the old crew and stuff went in the special cases, they weren't being blocked out and hit by
That's
like
true.
everything
Disruption.
waking up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when they were blacking out full rooms, they were losing full histories. But by him moving her brother, technically
Yeah.
he's still somewhere.
I think it
So,
was
like-
a good thing. I think she needed it for her,
I think she did it
Yeah.
to move on, to be quite frank.
Yeah.
Like,
True.
but it was still fucking heartbreaking.
oh,
when it happened.
Hmm.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like I didn't, again, like the whole, I know, again, the grieving thing, I get it, but I didn't. They were also pandering to her a bit too much, and with allowing her to like constantly see him and break the rules to constantly see
Yeah.
him, because that served literally no purpose,
No.
like
Yeah.
other than to
It just opened the door for what happened, really.
yeah.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
And I know that you mentioned like it wasn't logical with her and Owen, but I think obviously she didn't want to take anything further with Wes, because obviously first off she didn't know how to control the overstimulating from being touched, but also like she found a friend that she could partner with and hunt together with, and like she didn't want to ruin that. So then obviously there was the other
Yeah.
guy that seemed interested in her, where everything was just silent and she could get away, and like there was not, like she made it, like she actually said it, there was nothing to lose with Owen. So
Yeah.
that's why she
there
sort of
was.
just,
I mean,
well,
Well,
they ended up being something to lose.
yeah.
all
The
the
big
wonders
V,
of
obviously.
life.
Everything. Everything, mate. Everything.
The world.
Literally.
My husband was in the room during the Ben thing and the Wes getting hurt. Oh my god.
Oh God.
The
Both
way
times.
stomach dropped when he was
Yeah.
stabbed, I was like, I swear to
I was
God.
like, no. I
On
was
the
a
roof,
bit-
that whole bit on the roof.
I
like-
was not,
I was very tense.
yes.
Like I was literally, I read this, I finished this book at like 6:30. So this is very, very raw and new to me. I literally just got over the emotional damage.
Yeah.
I was
So bad.
When
in
I
pieces.
say I closed this book and hugged it, like I genuinely mean I closed this book, I hugged it, and I cursed us for having the live show on the 10th, no, the 12th. But like I was like, I need the next book. I can't read the next book. I won't know what happened in which book, and I'll spoil something. Like I need to stop reading. Like I need to put it down. And then I sat here and I was like,
Oh.
I'm glad I read
okay.
this when I was
Oh.
by myself, because I was not okay
No, me
no.
neither.
for a lot of this book. Like none of this book was really all that happy, other than
No.
the relationship she had with the best friend, that even though they were apart, they still clearly had a lot of love for each other.
Yeah.
And the fact that she found Wes, who she could totally open up to, even though she did keep things from him, she could
Yeah.
open up more to him, be more of
Let's
herself
face it
around
though,
him.
hopefully that won't happen as much next time because he already
Yeah.
knows everything. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just need to try and not have those barriers again next time. But like
miscommunication.
Yes.
always.
Always.
But yeah, like there was very few happy moments. So I literally said yesterday on the live, there's no point me tabbing this because literally every page would be emotional damage.
Yeah.
Like there's
Yep.
something tugged at my heartstrings every time, whether it was a parent's disregarding her feelings or like
Yep.
her being scolded by Roland and her knowing that she disappointed him and like potentially
Yeah.
she could get a memory wiped and be left with
Oh.
nothing. And
Oh
there
god,
was
that was
constantly just
horrible.
like this threat, this looming thing that was like some shit's gonna go
It's just
down.
constantly there.
Yeah. She can't be happy. Like what is going on?
I
Schwab
saved
is
my
mean.
few tabs for the truly like soul destroying moments.
Oh god.
There's still quite a few of them.
I just popped
I,
in to say hello. I have not.
not audiobooked it, ebooked it because I couldn't, like, at the start when I was reading it, my wrists were sore. And then I got so far through it the first night that I was then like, I can't backtrack and re-tab this because I've tabbed too much. I was like, this book is just going to be classified as heartbreaking.
Yep. Yep.
See, I was like Roland Fitz the mentor who turns out to be the bad guy, but Patrick hates her, but Wes showed up in a weird way. And it was something else stupid. But then yeah, the cat lady.
I love that. That's what I'm but then yeah, the cat lady.
What was her name
Oh.
again? Mrs. What?
Was this a Geely?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
But yeah, the Roland thing, I didn't think Roland, but yeah, Patrick, Wes showed up with Owen, and the cat lady. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking, is she gonna be the one? Like, he's gonna
I
like,
loved
come
it.
straight
I
out
didn't
of the
trust
field.
anyone.
It never once crossed my mind though that it was my kooky man up on the top floor. I
No.
would like to point out it was
No.
never him.
No, it was
Never.
never.
This was never.
It was never Nix.
Nix is a
It's
king
never-
amongst men. He would be
Yeah.
With his wheelchair and his
Yeah.
Oatmeal and raisin
yeah,
cookies.
oh, so, the chewy
It
kind.
made me laugh.
The chewy.
It's really kind.
It made me laugh when she was like, is Betty your wife? And he was like, don't worry, not a dead wife. It's like my dead wife's sister's friend's daughter or something. He was brilliant.
And then I loved that she turned up at Yandon and it was like, oh,
Yeah.
So glad at the end, though, he was in the
I
cast.
hope he's in the next book.
Yeah,
I
I
loved
hope
it.
so.
The bit that made me laugh is she walked in and she was like, "That's not sugar, is it?" in my mind, he was just there shoving his face like he's trying to get them all down before she went and grabbed him
It
off
was,
me.
also, it was also the way he didn't even look at her. He just went, Betty. I loved him so much.
I loved that at the end
he's
he's
70 years, so he must be a British.
yeah. I loved that at the end he still had her copy of Inferno. Like it was still with him.
But I mean, come
Carried it
on,
around.
who wants to read Dante's Inferno?
Well,
Oh,
I have
can we
it
just
downstairs, not me. Have not read it.
can we just appreciate another amazing moment from Wes? You clean while I read to you.
right?
Sorry, that was. If a man did that for me, marry me. Like, literally. Oh, you have this a meaningless task to do that you really don't want to do. All right, I'll keep you company. I'll read to you. Not just from the start. Oh no, I'll read you my favourite passage. Please.
Of a classic as well. Not just any book. Of Dante's Inferno.
Yeah.
Like
My womb cannot take us this anymore.
My favourite bit.
Oh.
Ring me.
Ring me. I love it.
Is it obvious who my favourite character was? I'm not sure.
I don't think so. It was the cat lady, right?
Yeah.
I think
They're the top three.
I think Patrick was jealous of her as she got into being a keeper at a younger age than usual. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't cry yet during book one, but I have a very strong suspicion that I will do so in book
Oh,
two.
for fuck's
I was going to say before you moved up, I was drinking. I don't think Patrick liked that it was a younger age than usual because it wasn't the rules. Sorry, I
Yeah.
just had to get it out there.
Yes.
But
Just had
also,
to put it in
Malus,
there.
if
Really like the
you
role.
Yeah.
you're gonna cry if you're gonna read it on live so I can watch you cry.
So basically, we should do an Unbound sprint, all of
Yeah.
us.
Yes.
I'll
Dope.
I'll sit and watch behind the scenes. You don't need to see me ugly cry.
Oh no.
No, if we're on there, you're on there too. The four of us, Marloes and Andy, because I know they'll read it, so
Yes.
we'll just drag them. It's fine.
Okay.
We'll be sat there, like someone will come on,
Oh,
like, why the fuck are these bitches crying? What is
It'll-
going on?
Everyone just kind of wanders into the live and is like, "Oh, hey, Sprints, why is everyone crying?" And we're like, "We're fine."
We're
Well,
totally okay.
the best part would be if we all start like live on page 1 of book 2. So like if somebody's a faster reader, they'll start crying, and then everyone will be like, "I've got that to come to." Oh fuck.
It'll be like in primary school when you do like row, row, row your boat in a round.
Do it.
Oh,
Do it.
please, can this be a thing, guys? Please, please. I need to like hurt myself while I read this
Yes.
anyway. So can we at least do it as a team? Can it be team hurt?
It's like just, oh yeah, why not? You've seen every other side of me on the internet, so you might as well see that. I
Oh.
think quite all, but I'm an empty shell of a human. I don't think you
no.
are.
Oh,
I didn't
I think
You
you're
are.
just fine.
Oh,
Huh?
I did.
I didn't cry either.
I cried.
Lied. You lied.
I said I was emotional.
I didn't know what you
Emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
I read Inferno, the translation, and it's like Dante's self-insertion. I'm going to
No,
screenshot this for Becca. Becca loves a good fanfic. Self-insertion.
I blue highlighted the entire page, and this was the moment. It actually should
What's
start
blue?
on the
Is
other side.
that sad?
Emotional damage
Okay.
was after she defeated Owen. And then she heard him get out of shuddering cough, and she like ran to him and was like trying to hold him up. And I was like, "Oh God, where's the blue highlighter?"
just whack it out.
I had the clear, like the see-through ones, but my issue is they don't go the whole width of the page. And
Yeah,
then I was like, how do I do this? So I haven't used them yet. I've had 2 books that I've now wanted to do, but I don't know how to. And I'm like, do I just plaster them?
And in the end, I just decided I wasn't going to make notes. I'm just going to highlight, because when I was trying to make notes on those, it was bugging me that it doesn't go the whole length of the page. So you've got to use 2, or
Yeah.
you've got to do it in like side bit, and really annoy me.
Yeah, I gave up on like
Colour in the
very,
book.
very start of the Near Witch. So literally I used it as an marker for where I had to get to.
At least you're getting use out of him. He's like meeting all his favourite history dudes. Yeah. Monday Unbound read along. The emotional damage sprints. And the thumbnail should literally be that guy like emotional damage. I'm up for an Unbound, like, right, okay, it's happening. This
Oh, no.
sounds like the worst party.
I'm assuming it's on nobody. Is it on anybody's October TBR? Or did we all leave it to November?
Oh, I mean, like it's floating around, but I probably won't read it until the beginning of November.
Mine's in the back of my mind that I need to read it, but I haven't actually put it on anything.
No,
I put it on my October TBR. But
Oh,
we
you
all
have?
know. Yeah,
Oh,
Okay.
because we're supposed to be doing the live show beginning in November, aren't we?
We hadn't
Wait,
got a
what?
date, I don't think.
Yeah, because so the Unbound was supposed to be October's book, wasn't it?
Yeah. We just don't have an actual date for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, that's fine.
it's kind of on my October TBR, but this was on my September TBR, and I read it 2 days ago.
Look,
Fair.
right.
And you read it today.
It's on my October, and see, this is wise. I should have left it off my October TBR and then pretended like, and I didn't put it there. So my October TBR, I just wanted to wait for this live first. But
You
I'm
get
also not
noises
really.
in your house, Jim.
Yeah, sorry, someone's moving in next door.
Okay. I heard thudding and your eyes went, and I was like, I'm assuming it's your house because you're the only one who paused. So
Yeah, sorry, it's a council house, and the lady that lived there all of Danny's life has had to go into assisted living. So
Aw.
they've been redoing it for like the last couple of weeks, and then someone's moving in, and we're crossing everything. Danny went and met them, and he says they seem nice. It looks like a single mum with 3 teenagers, so like young teenagers. So
that'll go one of two ways.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
We're surrounded by like the 7 to 10-year-olds at the minute,
yeah.
so it's okay right now. But give me
Yeah.
5 years.
So I mean, it should be fine. I think because when we were moving stuff in here, it was quite loud, just because they're like quite echoey rooms. But I think once they're in,
We don't hear anything, to be fair, even though they're just next door. So fingers crossed.
So, do you have anything else you'd like to say about the book? Because, like I said, I didn't make notes. I've literally just finished it. So,
I didn't take any notes.
I have one more statement, but I don't know if I can re-find the bit in the book, so I may have to see if Mrs. has made an actual note. After the fight, the conversation with Roland about them being his strays.
yeah, how the fuck did I forget that?
I did not call that.
no,
Like, the fact that they literally don't age because they are fucking histories woken up to serve again because
Yeah.
they were part of it while they were alive and you. Yeah, I didn't call that shit.
No.
totally believed that it was like you could make a choice if you were on crew, and you could be
Yeah.
promoted to librarian, and you just wouldn't age. And then if you decided that you didn't want to do it anymore, you'd go back into the real world. And I was thinking, like, that would be wild though, because imagine if you spent like 50 years in the library and then you were like, do you know what, I'm done, and they just kind of erased your memory and let you out into the world, and you were just
Oh,
50
God.
years where you left it. And then when they was like, oh yeah, we're all dead, I was like, oh shit. I mean, that word does make more sense.
Yeah.
The thing that makes sense was the thing that we didn't think about.
I just accepted that it was like this timeless place where no one
Yeah.
aged.
Same. And that
This
was
bit-
emotional. That was emotional because we see Roland as like
Was it not with
this granddad figure.
Yeah.
I don't know
It
if this
was
is the bit I was on about, but here's a bit with Agatha, who obviously like took over whatever.
I guess I don't like
She's
it
just
already.
she's just said
No.
Wesley Ayers is alive. It was the the 4 greatest words I've ever heard. For instance, I imagine you're wondering why we keep the origin of the librarians a secret, why we keep so many things a secret. The archive must be staffed. There must always be keepers in the Narrows. There must always be crew in the Outer, and there must always be librarians in the archive. It's a choice, Mackenzie. Do you know that? It's simply a matter of when the choice is given.
So it's not a choice.
You wait until they're dead. Wake them up on their shelves when they can't say no. Won't, Mackenzie, is a very different thing from can't. I'll be honest with you. I think you deserve a bit of honesty. Keepers worry about being keepers, and rest assured that they'll learn about being crew if and when the time comes. Crew worry about being crew, and rest assured that they'll learn about the librarians if and when the time comes. We found that the easiest way to keep people focused is to give them one thing to focus on. The question is, given the
To lie
influx
to
of
them.
distraction, will you be able to continue focusing?
It's fair.
This book like damaged me. It's my 3rd Schwab, guys. I am not ready for this over the next year.
Can I just ask,
No,
have you
you're
read
not.
you've not read Addy yet, have you? Oh. Oh, listen, I don't really cry at books.
Yeah.
Hour and a half of crying after I finished Addy.
I
You're
have
welcome.
read Vicious, I have read The Near Witch, and I have read this.
You are not ready.
No.
You're not ready. You're not.
You're not ready for the Dark Shade of Magic either. I can't wait
No,
for
you're
that.
not.
I found
I
Keepers
own them
Focus
at
on-
least. They are downstairs. Own TBR, guys, before the end of the year.
I found keepers. Focusing on keepers is very convenient for the Institute of the Archive. When she explained it like that, it made sense why they would do that, because then they would if you things are related to it early to you, then people might not want to be keepers, and then obviously
Yeah.
the history
Yeah.
would wake and get out and blah blah blah. But the whole knowing that the librarians were dead, probably I don't see how that would have been such a massive thing to tell
No.
people. Like, they deal with histories all the time anyway, so they could just been like, yeah, we were we were keepers or crew before. We are now the librarians.
Do
We
you know
chose
why I
this.
think it's so badly with us? The kind of role of librarian is dangled almost as a promotion,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you can be promoted from keeper to crew, and then like the thing above them is librarian. So it's all very well saying keepers worry about keepers, but keepers are sometimes thinking I might want to work for crew. And then if they're going to crew and then they're thinking, do you know what, this is quite stressful, this is quite a lot, one day I might want to put my feet up and I might go and I might look to be promoted to a librarian. And then you find out the only way to be promoted to librarian is to
Just to
die.
be-
Yeah,
I think that's why it's such a hard
yeah,
thing to swallow,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you go through the whole book thinking that librarian is like the goal.
And it's
Yeah.
the way to retire and to put your feet up
Yeah.
into like,
Yeah.
yeah.
When you don't
Also,
see it as a goal and the only way to get that goal is to die, it's kind of a bit shifty.
yeah.
yeah,
Also the fact that Roland was a way to retire being a librarian when she was taken in with Da, and knowing that Da was a way to die, then stayed as a
Yeah.
librarian to look after Mac, but you only found out at the end, and I was like, I knew it wasn't you. You're
You were a good egg.
I did feel very bad for kind of
Same.
I
I
would-
feel really bad about
it was
Roland.
like, oh yeah, I could have gone back to my shelf and had a sleep, and I decided to stay and look after you and go through all this bullshit. And I was like, oh well, then man, I'm so sorry.
If him and his red Converse don't show up in book 2, I'm gonna cry. Putting
Yeah,
it out there. I mean, I'm gonna cry anyway. Let's face it. But like,
And Addie's gonna break you.
It
Addie's
is.
gonna...
It is.
I'm well.
Oh,
I'm
Marlo's
well
crying.
aware.
For the last half of the book non-stop, same.
Same.
And afterwards I have no idea how long to process.
An hour and
Yeah.
a half, I'm telling you. I'm pretty sure that's in my entire review. I'm pretty sure I remember my entire review for Addie. This book made me ugly cry for an hour and a half and ruined my life. Highly recommend.
It's why I haven't read any Schwab, because it was one of the first books of hers that I bought, and then I didn't want to read it first because everybody said that if they read it first and then read everything else, they didn't like everything else. So it sat on my shelf since I got it.
Those people are fools.
So I now have the whole. The only things I don't have from Schwab now are the Everyday Angel series, I think, if I remember rightly,
Oh,
and the
yeah.
second book in the Monsters of Verity series. I have the rest in her little hardbacks as well, but I still need the 2 collected editions of like the Darkest Shade of Magic, and then I'm gonna have the majority of
Yeah, I need
Schwab
to
in hardback as well. I'm so fucking excited
I
to
think
have
I
my
know.
like,
honestly,
Schwab shelf.
I'm now trying to catch Becca up. I've got 4 editions of Addie now.
I've got 3 and I've got the 4th pre-ordered
There's a pre-order.
for the paperback.
Ooh. Nah.
It's
Um,
but the only I think books I don't have of hers is the Steel Prince graphic novels, but that's it, I think.
Oh, I do have them.
Oh, I've got the second one because Liv only had the second. I didn't buy it. Look, I didn't buy it. Liv had the second one. I don't know why she only had the second one, but she's like, "Do you want me to send you this?" I was like, "Yes." I was gonna buy it anyway, so
Yes.
she sent me that.
And the
I
special
need-
Darker Shade and Magic, I need the special ones of them, but that's about it.
I got them.
It's so pretty.
I think I
Lovely.
need Everyday Angel and the Monsters of Verity.
Yeah.
Considering I
both.
hadn't read any of her books, I owned a lot of them.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to reshuffle my shelves though, because she's now taken over like a full shelf. And
Yeah, I'm gonna need like 2 shelves for her.
Yeah.
Them. Sorry.
for sure.
This is my second Schwab, and I'm excited to carry on. Yes.
I'm excited to read the rest of the books.
But look at how
100%.
Mac reacted when she realised Owen was a history, and then that didn't slip and ended up going with Ben. Yeah,
That is a really good point.
that makes sense when you say it like that. I don't think like that because I don't think logically. So thanks for that. It also makes me wonder how many of the crew is dying while working in the outer.
A lot. They're not old.
No,
No.
they all freaked out as well when they were like. I think they freaked out a bit too much about Wes and Mac going out and.
Fire alarm or
Do you need
doorbell?
to go?
No.
Did you say fire alarm or doorbell? That would be the most aggressive doorbell in the world. Imagine if every time someone
I
came
hope
to you,
it's not a fire alarm. She's not moving. Lisa, do you
It's
need to run
not-
away?
No, someone probably just burned some toast. It's fine.
My heart was like beating.
while we wait to see whether Lisa's going to burn down, I'll read you some of my favourite parts. Are you ready? So I went and did my purple is my favourites, and I thought this was great when it said required reading. It's a shame they do that, he says, thumbing through the pages. Requirement ruins even the best of books. I thought it was so good because how many times did you get something assigned to you at school and just be like, oh, fucking hell, I don't want to read this bullshit. And then you read it when you're older and you're like, this is really good. I hate this so much.
I read a lot of plays of Shakespeare at school because one of my teachers was obsessed. But it wasn't like the book forms, it was always the play forms. Is it still going off, Lisa?
Same. I had the plays.
Is it still going?
Yeah, I'm assuming
It's fine. It happens all the time.
Okay, we'll continue. I'll read you some more. I thought this was a great line. I've never heard a librarian talk about why it's sorry. That was shit. I've never heard a librarian talk that way. It's like light shining through armor. I thought that was so good. Showing like a chink in the armor. There is a spark in his eyes, a hunger I sometimes see in histories. I'll bet he patrols the Narrows looking for a fight. Obviously about my boy Wes, because he's ready to fight everything. But this is my favourite bit about Wes. He raises a brow. I sound like a rock band. Don't look so flattered. You sound like a rock band being thrown out of a truck. His smile widened. Brilliant. And I was like, that's me! If someone said I sounded like a rock band, I'd be like, buzzing. Buzzing.
Is this really loud for you guys? Can you hear it really loud?
I mean, we can hear it, but it's okay.
Right, no, that's fine then. I'm just going to carry on because they need to go and mute it, but I'm not going to do it because I didn't set it off. But yeah, I listened to all those quotes and I love them. They're all so good. Wow.
I liked the bit where Wes and her were hunting together, and it's after Dinah Blunt, who's one of the older ones, and she broke his neck because she'd seen Owen do it and she hadn't meant to learn it, and he and Wes was like, "What happened to the humanitarian approach? Sometimes it's not enough. You're crazy. You're a crazy, amazing girl, and you scare the hell out of me."
Yep.
I smile. How did you do that? You trick. Where did you learn it? By accident. It's not a total lie. I never meant for Owen to show me. The history's body shudders on the floor. It won't last long, I say, taking her arms. So this is what the adults are like? Oh no, they get much worse. Wonderful.
Literally, the next bit that I had highlighted is just the bit where he goes, "You are crazy. You are a crazy, amazing girl, and you scare the hell out of me." I smile. I was like, I do the same.
Snap.
Damn straight, I'm crazy. Shut up. Not really. Maybe.
So, oh, thank fuck for that.
Yay!
Yes. I didn't suspect Roland, but I didn't know if that's how the book was going to go. But I trusted my favourite author, thankfully. Schwab is an absolute genius.
She
Yes,
is.
Yes, she
They
is.
are. They are.
Oh, my reaction to Addie was meh. Oh my
no.
god.
What?
I only gone and bought 3 copies of it. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm still missing Everyday Angel and the graphic novels, but I have all the others. Yeah, I can't wait to like fully get my Schwab shelf because they are going to be pride of place.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. Look, it happens all the time. Like the senses are so sensitive. I turn my grill on and leave it, and it sets it off. So, at least the fireman won't turn up. Hopefully. In the Netherlands book. Shame.
Good.
And the Netherlands book talk caused a whole talk about required reading in the reading list. Yeah, because nobody likes the list.
Yeah.
So true. Currently
It's
really
always
enjoying
really
Wuthering
old
Heights.
stuff that you don't want to read. It's never like relevant stuff.
Yeah. I'm currently
She
enjoying
said
Wuthering Heights.
one of the required readings was of Mice and Men, and she bought a copy as an adult because she was like, I love this. I'm
I
never
actually
going to read
enjoyed
it.
that book.
No, I
enjoyed
don't
it.
like that.
That
I
destroyed
no.
me as a child. I say a child. I was a teenager.
Yeah,
Don't judge me.
I would never read it again. Like I can't.
The film,
Oh no.
Oh
so
god.
rude. Very rude. And then that man was in CSI.
Yes.
Good fun.
Gary
Sis-
Sinise.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
Gary Sinise. I don't know what his name is.
Mr. New York.
Yes.
That's it.
Mac.
Which
Funnily
I was
enough.
meant to, which I was meant to read at uni and loving it. Now hated it. Then. Yep. I read Pride and Prejudice at school and thought I don't like Jane Austen because it was required, but it turns out I just hate her books. I didn't have them.
Oh.
I love that.
I tried to read Pride and Prejudice, DNF'd it at school, ended up like doing, the research, like what happens, like that you would have got like back then. Yeah. And then
The Cliff Notes. Love
Yeah.
Cliff
I read a Cliff Notes so I could get through the project, and then I tried to read Sense and Sensibility through the pandemic and gave up.
It's just crazy that they make 15, 16-year-olds with very adult books. Yeah. How is that any fun? Yeah. And I'm not even talking about sex scenes or anything, but just the books that are not made for that age group. I agree.
Yeah.
I'm still
Mice and
scared.
Men is a traumatic book. And they
Yeah.
made me read it when I was 16. Why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
So you
can't
can
we-
analyse it.
I don't want to analyse it. Can't we
The
analyse something?
relationship between the brothers.
There's so much to analyse in this. Let's do that. Something that's going to like destroy me emotionally. Oh, wait.
Wait.
Bad example.
Wait.
16-year-old me was not ready to read about swingers. Oh my god.
Fair.
No.
We
Agreed.
my English teacher had done like a film back study at uni, so we
I thought you were going to
did
say
a
some
breakdown.
different kind of film there.
Wow, Lisa, wow.
Very
We did a
good.
breakdown of Cabaret.
Oh,
Now-
God.
Cabaret isn't a light movie, and we did Cabaret, Frankenstein, and poems by Carol Ann Duffy, of which are based around war. Like, well, it was not a good year. However, apparently I learned much better with movies, so I got a much better grade than they were expecting me to, which is good. I was just going to say, V Schwab had put up a thing on, I think it was Instagram, like in their stories, about how the first line of every chapter like takes them forever to write, especially the first line of the book.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether for this one they fretted more about the first line of the memory or the first line of chapter 1, because it's the narrows remind me of August nights in the south, or there is nothing fresh about this start.
Probably that one.
And I think there is nothing fresh about the start is such a good segue into this.
Yeah.
And then the last 4 lines of the whole book, well, obviously the middle of it, but you know what I mean. We're a team, Mac, he says, we'll get through this. Which part, I ask. He smiles. All of it. And I smile back because I want him to be right. I literally got there and was like cursing myself for having read this so far ahead of us. Like, I learned from last month. Like, I didn't leave it to the day before. But I literally was like, yeah, it wasn't me this time. But like literally I just wanted to turn the page. And can I read the first line of the next book just while we're here? So that we all then want to read it.
No.
Oh, damn, you know I read it.
I know. It's not that great a line. Like, it's a good line, but also why? What have you done?
Oh God, I don't want to
Oh
know yet.
dear, I've just read it.
Oh God.
Bitch, what
What
you done?
One of my high school English teachers let us choose which books we were to write essays over. He gave us a list of his favourite books and said choose. I found my favourite book from that class. I wish I could have done that.
Nice.
My like
They make it
fourth. I don't know what year it would be for you guys, but like my standard grades, so like your
Yeah.
15, 16 type age,
Yeah.
did that, and we could pick any book, and I did mine on Teresa Tomlinson's oh, it's a duology. I've got them downstairs. It was like about the Amazons at Troy.
Oh.
Such a cool duology. I've got them both downstairs.
Aye. But there. Sorry, I just got.
Chosen books don't work. Like, so many people want to read so many different things. Like, BookTube is such a big provider of that as a platform.
Yeah.
Like, what I want to read, you guys won't. And like, if you put me, Pia, Andy, and Bobby in a room, none of us would pick the same book. And that's just 4 of us. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I know that for like, obviously, we've all chosen to read Schwab, but there's so many people that we know that aren't doing this with us because they don't want to read their books or have
Yeah.
read them. But like, I just don't get how you can give a list of books and say this will fit everybody this year.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it won't.
No.
People
Yeah.
won't like reading.
So, has anybody else got anything else to say about the book? And have you got any predictions? I've got fuck all for the next book. Like, where do you think it's gonna go?
The only other thing I was going to say is that I know that we've kind of glossed over it, but one of my favourite things about this book was like the murder mystery element of it.
Yeah.
And, like,
Yeah.
Oh my god, how cool was it?
it was
good.
so well done. And
It
I was
was.
like, I think that's what made me hate Owen even more, because he watched
He
her. Knew there was something going on, because he said, you can't read me, but I can read you. So he knew that she was desperately trying to figure out what happened to his sister. And it was
Yeah.
like, and he just was like, great, this works to my advantage. And just like let her keep going through it when he already knew what happened. And the
Yeah.
fact
Yeah.
that he turned out to have murdered all those other people.
Oh
Yeah.
we totally forgot to mention that. He's a murderer as well.
And
I get murdering her murderer. Fuck yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You killed your sister. I got no problems with it.
But the other people in the
I'd actually opened it at some point earlier. Like, I'd literally just pulled it open. And somehow, I don't know how I'd done it, but I opened it to the page exactly where she went, you killed, like, it was something along the lines of, like, you killed those people. And he was like, yeah, I did. And she was like, how did you cover them up? And he was like, I had to do it in such a way where they were like, they didn't look like they were connected. And I was like,
that's some evil shit.
I was like, bitch.
Can we just say how funny Nyx was when he was telling her about it? She was like, oh yeah, some people say he jumped, but maybe he was pushed, and I don't think that he hung himself because he clearly had fight because I cut him down, and then she fell down the stairs, or was she pushed? And then he was definitely
fucking brilliant.
There's no way that wasn't an accident. You can't.
I just love that he was like, I don't know what actually happened, but I don't fucking believe anything that they told me they did.
Like, but do I really want to go investigate? No, I'm just going to tell you that I don't believe it all.
He absolutely will not allow you to pull a fast one.
No. And then he's like, oh, by the way, you might want to go and ask her because she also knew a lot. Like, cat lady.
And the fact that cat lady moved in to Owen's flat.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't see that one coming. I didn't see that Owen had, like, hung around, which really was like a stepping stone to him knowing more. But, like, I just did not put 2 and 2 together at all.
But I loved that whole element of it, and it was like not even just the murder mystery. It was the kind of trying to figure out who murdered her, what was going on with the archive, and how they were connected. I just thought it was so well done.
Yeah. And I gave it 5 stars because I just, despite some of the things I like, if where's that, I will throw it as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I will write.
I was trying to point at it because I agree.
It took me a minute. I was like, wait, where am I going? You're the best one for me to point at, okay?
Yeah, I will be raging.
I think so too. I think she is more important. I think she knows something.
I agree. Yeah.
There's got to be something.
Also,
and I don't.
no, On you go, because I think
Too
we could.
interested
I
in
don't
this
I don't think
movie.
Owen's really gone. I think Owen's gonna come back because he's gone to nowhere. But
Yeah, so there's always a possibility of him being able to come back.
yeah, because her dad never said. He
Where
said
does nowhere?
he said that going to nowhere is about it's like it literally is nowhere. But he didn't say that there wasn't a way back from nowhere.
Exactly.
Oh my god!
And he's a manipulative cunt.
He didn't die, did he?
What if?
Well, he is dead. But
I mean, he's always been dead.
yeah, you know what I mean. He didn't like get.
Guys, what if there were other people that have been sent to nowhere, and Owen
Oh.
finds them?
He's gonna
An
come back
army
with a
of
gang.
people.
Oh, fuck.
He's gonna come
Gonna
back
bring
with a
back
gang.
one gang.
Oh my god, they're gonna come back with an adult killer set of histories that don't.
What if they
Oh
don't
my God.
send people back to sleep? What if they send them to nowhere? The older ones that wake up.
What, instead of the white door? What if they all go to nowhere anyway?
Yeah, but the white door is just a white door. Look what happened to Mac when she was in there. She stayed in there for a bit and then she managed to
Got
get
out.
out, right? So
Yeah.
who's to say that once they close the white door, a keeper, a librarian doesn't come in and take them off somewhere? Because obviously they have to do something with them because they either put them back on the shelf and put them back to sleep and put them under a red card, right? Who's to say that that's not what they do with the younger ones? But if an older one has awoken and has been like a killer keeper, that maybe they won't go back to sleep. Maybe they have to send
Put
them.
them in the. Oh my God.
Obviously we know why the archive is called the archive, but are they unbound because they were sent to the nowhere and they came back and then
Also, what happened to every single person they blacked out? Did they go to nowhere?
Oh my God.
Oh my god! I mean, we might be way off the mark, but I am. I'm excited.
What can so hold on. So oh, what if so they've oh my god, brain. Hold on.
is that why she was getting them to get blacked out? Because they're building an army of people that get sent to nowhere. Because it was Carmen. Carmen was there, wasn't she though? Carmen was the one that like forced them to. She knew the process that when things were coming out to when the disruptions happened, they have to black places out. So they've done it on purpose so that they get sent to the nowhere, so that like they can.
They then have that ability to have a.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Also, what if they have to?
Brett.
What?
Honestly.
What if they have to wake up like all of the, like everybody that's been like retired, and like her dad who's in the red section,
yeah.
like everybody that knows about the archive. What if they have to be woken up to help battle this? Also, guys, it's only 8:30. I think we need to like read the first bit of this. Like, just start reading it now. I can't.
I think the Unbound are the ones who don't slip. The ex keepers and crew. Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Schwab here.
Oh my god.
She's like, this isn't what I was planning, but hell yeah!
I'm just gonna message them and be like, just so you know, these are the thoughts that we have. If you would like to put these in book 3, then.
Also, would you like to be on our live for book 2 so we can like scream?
Oh
I
god,
can't.
that'd be amazing.
I can't.
I can't. I have to leave it till nearer the live because otherwise it'll be a blur. And I have so much to read, but I'm really mad at that fact after this live.
I also can't do Monday live.
No!
I'm assuming you guys will have other plans on Halloween, so I'm assuming we can't do Halloween sprints then. My only other Monday that we've got live between now and
the
7th, which is too late.
So
Unless I'm Monday this.
Me and Chloe are switching on that week because the 1st of November is the first day of this thing that's called the West End Readathon. So she's
tell us more.
Never heard of it.
It's a readathon run by Chloe from Persistent Bookworm, all themed around musical theatre.
And you have to listen to music.
Yeah, and it runs for a full month, and there's 60 prompts, and you could choose from so many different things. It's going to be a rocking good time.
Oh, like Wes! with his rock and roll music. Sorry.
So on that week, I'm doing my sprints on the Monday, and Chloe's gonna sprint on the Tuesday instead. So, but feel free to come and join and cry with me. I can't yet start it also because I'm in the middle of 3, but
Fair.
same.
Fair.
I need to be, Marlies, because I'm so fucking behind on my TBR. It's ridiculous. I need to hurry up.
I've got
I've
some
only read
Gideon...
2 books this month. 2
So I've got
out
Gideon...
of all of them.
I've got Gideon the Nights to finish because me and Alice are buddy reading it, and then I've got these 3. We've now pushed this live back from Sunday to Wednesday because I've not started it, and it's 650 pages long, I think. So it's gonna be. And then I've got these 2 to read for my spooky vlog for this week. So no.
At least this book can be classified as spooky.
True.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
You know what? I'm so excited because I have had this on my shelf for so long, and for some reason I've been putting it off, and I don't know why. And like when we decided to do this next, I was like, do you know what? That's probably good because I don't know what it's going to be like. It'll be good to kind of get to it, and I've never read it before, and now I'm just so glad because it's so cool. It's such a good book. I'm so glad that I get to read it with you guys and chat about it. It's awesome.
I have loved it.
So before we go,
Even-
I've just pulled up the Twitter, and I think Tori said the Twitter votes. The series is also the same as the Discord votes. So
it is.
we will be reading Action Magic.
Yay!
Excuse.
She's whipping Kill out.
I'm going to do that all the fucking time. I'm
She'll
sorry
be
in
like,
advance.
Can we, Lisa? Can we drink through lives, and every time she does that, we can take a shot? She's
Oh,
gonna sit
God.
here like this.
You guys are not ready for the version of me that you're about to see.
And
All right.
next,
If you think you've seen me fangirl before, just wait.
It's okay. I love those books as well. Don't worry. I love them books.
oh my
I
God.
haven't read them. I'm
Book out
excited.
2 hours of your time because there's 3 out of the 4 people on this live that literally fucking die for that series.
Yeah.
As I always say, the live shows will be longer. People, be
Tell 'em,
prepared.
Lila.
Take
have
some
my
water.
heart. Take
I
it.
love Lila.
And Rye and Alucard and
I'm so excited. I've got
So
my
that
line
would
of-
be
my line of
that's
bad
November, December, January, right? It's 3.
yeah, November, December, January. Dark Shade of Magic, Conjuring of
Light.
Gathering of Shadows, Conjuring of Light. Or Conjuring
That's
of Light.
it.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh my
God.
God.
You know, like when you have like a moment where somebody says the name of a book and you get hit with the bit that's like destroys your soul. I'm just like, all you people that have only read like book 1, you have no idea what's coming.
Yeah.
I haven't even read that, so I really don't know what's coming.
Oh, so excited.
Reread them and feel the pain all over again. Your feelings towards us.
I mean,
Wow.
I'm also getting that way with, just Schwab in general, to be honest. But
Yeah, I was going to say it's Schwab and
Shade of Magic is the series, if you know what I mean, like the one that got me.
Six of Crows. Yeah. Six of Crows was my first fantasy, like first soiree back at the fantasy back in 2020. And then straight after that, it was Darker Shade of Magic. It was because I watched JDB read and she was like Schwab trash, and I was like, okay, Kel.
It's
So this,
Kel!
I was like, this Schwab person that Jade keeps mentioning, she's got a Schwab shrine for. I was like, oh, let's see what this author's about, and I'm like, bitch, you done tore my heart out and
Yeah.
like stood on it and jabbed it and stabby, like what the fuck.
I'm hoping that for Christmas, I've only asked for one thing for Christmas, and it's money so I can have a tattoo. And it's going to be the bloody handprint with Astrovars on it.
Astrovars! Oh my god. Yes!
And then underneath, it's going to, I don't know if it's just going to say, I remember you, or if it's going to be Addie's constellation or something.
Done.
I want like a combined one.
Oh my god.
I'm so excited. That's
I'm gonna
all
cry.
I
I'm going to need so many blue tabs.
Honestly,
You're just gonna need
Like-
to buy a range of blue from
Yeah.
like slightly emotional to emotional damage, like like a hierarchy
Like,
of emotional
I'm fine.
damage.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine.
The darkest blue would be, don't touch me! Don't look at me!
If I read Dutch, I would also get them in Dutch. But then
Yeah.
again, I've got Italian film at Alchemist, so
fair.
I was really considering buying the rest of the series. It's just so-
No!
I'm not gonna.
Lisa,
I was considering it because there's 2 sat on there, and I'm like, it's not a complete series, but I don't want to get rid of those 2. So my completionist brain was like, but I'm not.
Who's on the front of the Italian ones that you've got?
Eh?
who's on the front of them?
the Italian ones that you've
Oh,
got?
it's the same characters that's on the front of the hardcovers.
Yeah, but I don't know which volumes you've got.
Oh,
don't
it's Alonso and I've forgotten his name already.
Why do I not remember his name? That's terrible. I've read them.
Ed,
I don't know who he looks
Ed!
like.
It's the same. Oh shit, bollocks! Oh shit, manga on board. Manga on board.
you okay?
I'm okay. I'm okay. But
Oh,
with
You
but
could just
but no
explain
no no
them.
no 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 no. Look. It's the
Oh,
undercover. Look at that. It's like the raw artwork.
But
Oh
you
my
can't read them. You don't read Italian.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't speak
That's what you
Italian.
mentioned.
Don't buy the rest of the series.
I'm not gonna, but
So Ro
it.
did her
fine.
opening for her birthday, and she's ended up with a duplicate of the number that has Olivier on the front of it, and I want it just to have Armstrong.
I can't see.
No.
That's shit that she's ended up with a duplicate though. Fucking
I know
Anthony.
she doesn't know why.
Somebody would have purchased it at the same time, unless you
No,
checked
because she
out.
owned one. She owned one, and it hadn't been taken off of her.
Ah, right, okay.
I
feel justified in the
Yeah.
decision now. Yeah. Ooh, yes. Come on the live show in charge. But yes,
God.
if anyone knows Italian and would like 2 amazing editions,
I know one word in Italian.
this is a full manga.
I know.
I
I know. What do I know in Italian? Fa for Napoli. I don't know if that's weird Italian. That's what friends said.
I only know
Napoli.
I only know El Porco,
gonna-
which is pig.
Oh right, okay. All right, okay, yeah.
she
I know what you mean.
is not
That's not
showing
true.
properly.
You know mozzarella.
Yeah.
That's
There we
Italian.
go. Her.
Oh, ciao bella.
Wow, Bella. We know you
Pasta,
so much Italian.
spaghetti
We all know.
bolognese. Grazie.
Prego. Prego.
I know some Italian. I know
We
Italian.
know so much Italian.
Would you like me to
It's
post
me,
these to you, Pia?
Mario.
I
It's
mean,
me, Mario. Do you know enough Italian to read a book, Pia? Because I can post these to you.
I would
they're just
say
gonna
that
stare
there's
at me.
pictures, but I don't know if that's enough to even make it helpful.
Play them.
No, because they're just gonna stare at me and they're gonna be like, "We are not complete."
Just pretend that they're not manga. Put them on the top of a shelf on some little like, right?
It's fine. They're going to Pia. They're going to Pia.
And if Pia can't read them, then I will steal them because they can go with my rest of my manga for my Full Metal collection. That is.
If you don't mind me having your address, Pia, because I don't know how else I'm going to get it to you.
No,
Send me
go
your
to
address.
Edinburgh. You come into Edinburgh in January,
Oh, true. But
although that is months away and
I can
space.
just post them to you.
It's months away, and she'll probably
Forget
Buy
it.
more.
then and buy the rest in Italian.
Full circle-ish. I like it. I like it. So yeah, Pia, send me your address and I will send you these. They're gonna go to a good home. I like it. That's
all we
fine.
want.
I'm happy. And then I've got a space for. I've got a whole 2 books, guys. Oh, I just need to buy my manga now to fill the void. That sounds wrong. I said void, not hole. Ignore me. Anyway,
Voids.
November, December, January is a Dark Shadow Magic series. We will post. Your problem, not mine.
You the first two.
Yeah. Woo woo.
Is the 7th of November too late for a live show?
No,
Because we
will
haven't
do it
decided on the
the
date to do the actual live show. It's a Monday.
We will discuss this later. We're just gonna leave everyone else. But no, because we've done it on the 12th this time, haven't we? So it doesn't really matter. But yeah. We'll see you all next month when we read the when we do the live on the heartbreaking conclusion of the duology that is the archived. I'm just guessing it's gonna be heartbreaking.
More Wes, more Wes, more.
More Nicks. I want more Nicks.
And we will see you all. If you're on Tori's live tomorrow, we'll see you there.
Yep.
And then we'll see you on Friday when you watch me getting pissed. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining. We appreciate you.